Hi, this is CY once again, right? Yesterday I went on to Instagram Live and I did a session to try to dial in the DF64 and the niche, and apparently because it was done in a very short span of time, right? The flow, the espresso extraction on the niche flows too quickly, and on the DF64 flow too slowly. So the test was a bit unfair because I think I didn't really dial in the espresso really well. So today I'm going to try to re-dial in the espresso for the niche as well as for the DF64, right? So stay tuned, right? So this is something interesting, right? We're going to test it out, right? So this is CY, right? If you're first time joining my channel, right? My channel is all about having fun making coffee, right? So if you find my channel interesting, do remember to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and share to your friends if you think that my video content is interesting and it's of certain value to them, right? So remember to ring the bell, right, for us to stay updated for any future of my future video releases, right? So stay tuned, right? Let's start dialing in the machine. Right, and today you can see there's something new on my DF64, which is actually the pointer design, right? I've just designed this about 20 minutes ago and 3D printed in the rose gold color PLA filament, right? So you can see that it is very tight, right? It doesn't move around, and the best thing is now with a pointer, right, you can really see the marking they're using for your grinder very clearly, right? You can see that the pointer is very clear, and if you turn, right, you can see the numbers there, right? So I think this is a pretty neat design, right? And if you like my design, right, do let me know, right? And link in the comment down below, right? I will see whether I will put it up later on, right? So now I'm actually at okay, let's try to start at a marking of 50, right? And I'm going to do a 15 grams, right? And let's see how it goes, right? Right, as you can see, I've been playing with the espresso just now, trying to dial in, and I realized that the starting point when I started dialing in should be at 15, and I can taste a really big difference in the taste profile of the espresso between 15 and 16. So 15 is a bit too fine. When I go up to 16, I can taste the sweetness in the coffee immediately, and that is just by 1 mark difference, right? So right now I will be bumping up this to 17, right? So with the marker I can see very clearly where is 17 right now. Let me show you, right? To prevent parallax error, right, I can see that this is now at a marking of 17, right? So let's try to dial in again. And I have also learned something about the DF64 grinder, right? When do you have to press the bellow, right? So let me show you. So first let's now it's about 17. Okay, let's do exactly 18 grams, right? That's exactly 18 grams there. So point the bin, right, close the cover, and you switch on and you let it run. And when you hear that there's no more bean grinding, you start to pump. Right, you may need a few pumps, right? Quite a few pumps to get all the grind out, right? So you can see towards the end, there's a lot of crumbs coming out, right? And now let me measure again. Right now I'm actually getting about 17.8 grams. So just now I measured exactly 18 grams. So the retention is between 0.1 to 0.2 gram, right? So now let's try to dial in the espresso, right? And I'm going to use the Molesto, right? So I have been playing with this machine recently, right? It's a very value for money espresso, a dual boiler espresso machine, right? The brew boiler, it has a brew boiler and a thermal block linked to a smaller boiler, right? So now let's transfer the coffee ground, right, to the bottle filter. Right, I would still like to use my WDT tools. Distribute. Using my new cookie press. Right, you can see that it's very flat. Okay. Right, let's see the extraction. Okay, let me bring you closer. That's 30 seconds. I'm getting about 31.4 grams. Right, so this is still not dialed perfect yet. So let me taste the coffee. Right, so let's try. Right now the setting is at 17. Cheers. There's less sweetness. The body is very good, the texture is very good, right? But the sweetener is still lacking. I think it's probably the shot is a bit short. The time is actually 30 seconds, but I only extracted about 31 grams. So maybe I can grind a slightly coarser, right, to see whether that improves the ratio slightly better to 1:2, right? So let's try one more time. Now I'm going to adjust the grind setting to 18, right? So just by one difference, right, to see whether I can actually improve the extraction ratio. Right, so now I'm going to adjust to 18. Right, that's 18 now. So let's measure 18 grams again. Right, that's 18.1. Right, so let's see how it goes. Right, this is when you start to pump. Right, so let's see how many grams are we getting. Oh, I'm getting about 19.4 grams, right? So that's actually 1.3 gram more than just now, which means that there's a bit of retention, right? The previous grind actually retained about 1 grams of coffee ground, right? Okay, so let's try to pull a shot again. So let's try to pull another shot. Right, so this is at the setting of 18. Okay, let me bring you closer. Right, so now this is at the setting of 18. Of channeling there. Right, that's about 29 seconds. Right, I'm getting about 40.6 gram. Right. Which means to say that, okay, let me taste the shot first before I comment. Right, let's taste the coffee. Right, so this is using the grind setting of 18. Right, yielded about 40 grams of espresso. Right, cheers. I think it's quite similar to the taste as compared to the previous one, right? It still have a very good body, it has very good texture, right? But somehow, yeah, it's very chocolatey and it's very nutty. But it is new. I still can't get the sweetness I'm looking for, right? But overall, I think the two shots at a setting of 17 and 18, they are roughly the same, right? So I will probably go for the setting of 17, right? So I think I will use 17 as a setting for the dialing in, right? So right now I'm going to dial in the niche and see at what setting I can get it dialed in. Yesterday I tried at the setting of 12, right? And today I'm going to start at 12 again, right? And see what kind of extraction ratio I'm going to get, right? Right, so let me return the setting on the DF64 to 17. Right, and I'm going to try to dial in the beans on the niche 0. So yesterday I did at 12, so I will start at 12 again. So same thing, I'm going to measure 18 grams. Right, that's 18.1, right? So I think that's good enough. Right, somehow my bolts on the popcorn this will always get loosened. Right, I think online there's a method of how to screw it tight. I'll probably find out a way to make it tight. Right, you can see that I'm only getting about 17.2 grams. Right, just now I measured 18.1, so there's actually about 0.9 gram of retention on the niche. Right, so I know there's actually a blower from I think from Dylan's YouTube channel. Right, I'm actually quite interested to get one of those. Right, so it's only at 17 gram and nothing is coming out, so let's try to pull a shot and see how it goes. Right, I always keep my polyfilter locked up at the group head to keep it warm. Right, that's actually the grind from the niche. Right, to be fair, I'll also be using the WDT tools. Distribute and tamp, and let's pull a shot. This is actually from the niche. Right, there's a bit of channeling. Right, so at 20 seconds, I'm already hitting at about 37 grams, so this is not very well dialed in, right? But let me try the coffee. Right, so this is actually from the niche, right? My first at a grind setting of 12 on the niche, right? I'm still using the same beans, right? Wow, I can taste the sourness already. Yeah, it's very bright, right? And it's not very nice. So I'm gonna dial in one more. Right, this time I'm going to reduce to grind size of 11 and see how it goes. Right, so again, let's measure 18 grams. Right, that's exactly 18 grams. Right, okay, let's adjust the dial to 11. Right, let's measure the beans again. Right, I'm getting about 17.8 grams, so this is much better than the previous one. Right, let's transfer the coffee ground. Right, this is at a setting of 11 on the niche 0. Right, let's distribute and tamp. Okay, let's pull one more shot and see how it goes. Alright, let me bring you closer. Alright, let's pull a shot. Right, at a setting of 11, the shot is much better than before. Right, at 30 seconds. Right, I'm getting only about 30 grams, which is quite similar to the one I'm getting on the DF64. Right, so let's taste the espresso. Right, so let's taste the espresso shot. Right, just now at a setting of 12, the shot is actually very bright. Right, cheers. Yep, it is still bright, but it's not as bright as the one before. This is actually quite pleasant already. Right, so I can finally conclude, right, after dialing in the shots, right, definitely, right, the niche is bringing out the acidity and the brightness in the coffee, right? This is a medium to medium dark roast, right? By right, I'm supposed to get the chocolatey and nutty flavor, but when I use the niche to dial in, right, it always brings out the acidity and the brightness, right? Whereas when I use the DF64, which is a flat burr, 64mm, right, it always produces a shot without any acidity at all. I'm using exactly the same beans, which means to say if you like espresso shot that towards the acidity side, more floral and more bright, right, you should use the niche, right? And if you like espresso shot that's more chocolatey and nutty, more mellow, right, less impactful, right, then you may want to consider the DF64, right? DF64 is a better choice if you like the kind of chocolatey and nutty taste coffee, espresso shots, right? So I can definitely conclude, right, this is definitely the results, right? Because I've dialed in many shots to try to get it quite similar to on both, right? And the result is actually very consistent, right? So alright, it's almost 12 AM here, right? I have tasted so many espresso shots, and I think that's enough for today, right? I hope that you find these sessions of dialing in the beans on the niche as well as the DF64 useful to you, and the descriptors on the taste profile of the espresso shots, right? Let me know if it matches your finding, right? If you have a niche as well as a DF64, what's your finding? And I'm very interested to know, right? So if you can share with me, right, please link in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, right? For me, my conclusion is the niche is producing a much brighter and more fruity kind of espresso shots as compared to the DF64, which actually produce a more chocolatey and nutty kind of flavor for the espresso shots, right? Both have good texture and body, just that one is definitely more acidic than the other, right? So whether you like acidic shots or you like chocolatey and nutty shots, this is actually personal preference, but both grinders are great. The workflow on the niche is slightly easier, right? And the workflow on the DF64 is slightly more troublesome because you have to pump quite a number of times to get all the coffee ground out. But if you are able to pump, and usually the pumping should start after you hear that there's no more bean grinding, and you have to wait and pump until there's a huge puff of the ground coming out. Otherwise, the retention will be there, right? So you have to see that suddenly there's actually a big puff of coffee ground comes out. Then you stop. Then you know that you are getting most of the coffee ground out from the DF64, right? So the next one I'm going to probably try again on the pour over, right? So stay tuned, right? So I hope you have enjoyed the dialing process, right? This is for me, this is something enjoyable, right? I like to dial in and see how I can improve on the shot quality, right? This is CUI once again. Thank you for joining me. right? If you're first time joining my channel, right, my channel is all about having fun making coffee, right? If you haven't subscribed to my channel, remember to click on the subscribe button and like my videos and share to your friends, right, who are also fellow coffee and espresso lover, right? And remember to click on the bell, right, if you want to stay updated on all my future video release, right? So thank you for joining me, right, and see you very soon.